Hello, here's my vlog for the April 17th, Thursday. Somehow it's already 7:26 in the morning. I got up at like 5:30. Somehow I've been up for 2 hours. I had time warp. But in that 2 hours I managed to have breakfast. I managed to have, I think, a banana and a bowl of noodles. And then I answered somebody. Maybe it just took longer than I thought. I'm having an argument with somebody about Atlantis, but I can't really read the feed here because, like, I guess what I write doesn't show up until later. It's bizarre, but yeah. So it's probably not worth it. It's not worth it to read the conversation because it's not really sequential. But yeah, so with somebody who wrote a book about it. So anyway, yeah. So I kind of had insomnia yesterday. Yesterday, what I did was I was sick. I've been sick. I've been like detoxing. So my brain hasn't been working right, and I've been feeling sick. And also like muscle atrophy pain all over my back. And yeah, I was thinking about doing my dumbbell exercise, but I was stretching instead. And then time got away from me, and I went to my mom's house at 2 because she wanted to give me a massage and like a sound treatment again. So that was cool. Give me a massage with like aromatherapy, essential oils for the first time in forever. And that was relaxing, and you know, bells around me. And then I came back here and was stretching some more and thinking about doing my dumbbell exercise, but I was just stretching the rest of the day. I asked my mom if I should do the dumbbell exercise, and she's like, oh, hell no. For the first like week after quitting weed, like, just take it easy on yourself. So I was stretching, dude, like until like 9 or 10, just stretching, just listening to random things on YouTube. My brain's not really working, so I'm not trying to learn anything, at least not yesterday. But when I got up and then I laid in bed, and I kind of had a little bit of insomnia, but not that much. And but then I did get to sleep, and I woke up naturally. When it was still dark, I just kind of opened up my eyes, and I looked over, and it said like 5:09, and I was like, I woke up at 5, so I got up. I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. So that's when I got up, but like my brain is so foggy, like I can barely like to get like suited up for a bike ride would take like hours, because I don't know, like, you know, where anything is. I can't remember what I was doing, and so figured I'd do this video log first, and then get going, and then get on my bike and get out there and ride. See how many miles I can do. I'm going to do my first ride on my tubeless mountain bike. Yeah, and I did go up north, I think, do the trail up north to Lyons and the mountain bike trails and back. And if I start like way early, I should have even started earlier. Get in the habit of starting earlier. That means I can ride all day long, you know, and bring enough food and just go. I only did one, like, really tried to do one big bike ride earlier this year, a month ago now, Jesus. On my gravel bike when I got it, but the gravel bike, the front brake completely went out on me. Yeah. So I didn't want to continue and ride all day long because of that, and I'll fix that later. It was, but yeah. So part of me wants to just hang out and chill, but if I get up this early, get advantage of the opportunity. Plus, if I exercise, if I bust my ass all day today, to the point that I'm tired, then I'll sleep tonight, which means I'll be able to get up tomorrow morning, and then I can get into the habit of that and just get up at 5 every morning is the goal. When I got up this morning, I was actually like tired, like my muscles were sore. So I think I did enough stretching last night to actually need, like, it was basically like working out. Like like my muscles were sore the next day. I needed to recover just from the stretching. I'm so tight that I can stretch for like months just to get back to where I was before because I neglected. And so, like, as I was stretching last night, I was like, if I'm like lazy and like too lazy to lift weights or ride my bike or anything, or any kind of exercise, I'm getting plenty of exercise just by stretching. Like, because the body, the body needs to recover from that too, from all of the tearing the muscles apart. There's these stretches that I do over and over again. I want to be able to kick my my bob dummy, and I'm still too like tight for it. I can kick the head of my bob dummy at like 5'6" and do like a roundhouse kick at 5'6", but that's about as high as I could go. And so I do the stretches where I open. I'm almost tempted to just stretch all day long today, but I've done that too much lately. There's a stretch where I get my legs up against the couch and I put both of my feet up against the legs of the couch. And then I lean forward and yeah, just stretch. And then I do my legs where I hold my arms, or I hold my arms like this back behind me. And yeah, and just hold it and stretch. That's a big stretch. And then my arms out like this. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Well, it's because I'm still recovering from the weed. I'm still sick. But yeah, so, and then of course, opening up my legs and even laying in bed, laying on my belly and having my legs like knees way out like a frog is a stretch too. So, and when I go on a bike ride today, that'll build up my muscles, make my muscles tired, which will make them tight again. So I'll have to stretch it out. So I'm basically retiring from the site. The only thing that's going to allow me to continue on my website is if I get money, so that I can work on my spare time on that instead of a job. As long as I'm working a job other than my website, for by the hour job, the website's dead in its tracks. I need financial assistance from ideally the government. If we had a healthy society, I could sign up for some government grant, and the government would straight up give me money to work on my site. But the government doesn't have that kind of money. I could go and ask rich people. So that's what I'm going to do. And if I ask a bunch of rich people and they don't want to pay me, then there you go. That's what rich people care about. Yeah. Rich people in this world are just assholes who got lucky and found themselves rich. And then because they're rich, now they decide they're going to be like politicians. Like that Indian kid, the Facebook kid, he got lucky, got involved in so hot or not website early on, and then made money, and now he fancies himself Mr. Super Genius. It's fucking insane. And then nobody cares about the Uyghurs in China, and like it's so unfair that if he donates hundreds of millions of dollars to his presidential candidate, they don't they don't let him be an advisor. It's like fucking so not un-American. So if I could get $50,000 a year, I could get out of debt. I could live my life, or even less than that. If I just a boost, if somebody could help me out, rich people. So I'm gonna start to write. I'm gonna start to write foundations. All the foundations I can find, all the autism foundations, regular educational foundations. Just as soon as I get 100% on my England 1500 to 2000 test, take that bitch, and then I'll be like, yo, that's all I'll need. And today I'm gonna and to do a book review. I need to do a book review from when I wrote. So I'm gonna listen to something today. I was thinking about I'm gonna see how the internet works on my phone, and listen to books from LibriVox and see how that works. And if that doesn't work, I can listen to the decades and centuries from history that's saved to my computer on my phone from when I recorded it off Wikipedia. So yeah, so that's that. Should I read some of this conversation? I guess I'll read a little bit of it, but not all of it shows up, dude. Pisses me off. I don't understand. It seems like Yahoo Mail is the same goddamn way. So let's see if I can find it. It's some dude who wrote a book, and the guy is. Now I feel kind of bad for him. He wrote a book, wasting his time writing a book. Oh, previous replies. Okay. So, view post. God, I wish they would just show the whole goddamn thing. So this is the only person who's actually engaging me in a conversation about Atlantis. Now first what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, and this is the person never, ever addressed that. What you can clearly see, right? His name, he wrote a book, so at least maybe he won't run away with his tails between his legs. So I say, yo, Atlantis is there, not the Richat structure. Then he goes, it was in the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, right? Atlantis is in the Mid-Atlantic Ridge 3-plate boundary. Oh, really? Well, it's interesting. You've got a little bit of a ridge there. But that's all the only interesting thing you have to say. So he goes, I go, let's play a game. You give 10 reasons why, and I'll do the same, and we'll see who has the best and most reasons. So far, you just gave your opinion and never even answered my question. My question was, do you see the circle? Nobody, not a single person answered my question that they saw the circle. It's actually one person did. They said they didn't see it. It's only one person that knows how to have a two-way conversation. He goes, the Wayjet of Egypt, where Plato states the story came from. No, he didn't. The Wayjet of Egypt? You mean Plato said it came from, I can't remember where he went. Anyway. I know that Herodotus went to Sais. Anyway. Was used to teach lessons. It's broken into 6 parts for these lessons. One was a fractional sequence. 1/2, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 1/31, 1/64. Another was on the 6 senses: hearing, sight, smell, taste, touch, thought, consciousness. These 2 subjects Plato dealt with in Timaeus Critias. Third is described geography of Atlantis and northern mountains. The central plain, the eye of the left pupil, the ring city, the pupil, the seawall stretching away to the point, right pupil, and then over some hills to the southern plain and its great circular ditch spiral open to the south and the north, protection of the sea. So he's saying that is Atlantis, what Plato described. These are ridges 2 miles under the ocean in the middle of the Atlantic. How in the hell would Plato even know that? So how would Plato know what Atlantic features look like from space if there was no water? Wouldn't he describe what the place looked like when people lived there? So then he goes, he didn't. He went by the descriptors I've listed, which are the 6 parts of the Ouija as I have shown. The ring city is the only one in these parts. Centered on the spiral are a pair of crossed lines that are scaled to the exact dimensions he gives for the southern plains. Alright, well, for the benefit of the doubt, I'll put a 350 by 550 up on that thing and see if it's the same size. You need to read Plato because what you described isn't what he said. Let's change the rules. From now on, we need to quote Plato with each response. That's what I said. So then he goes, wait, so then he said, yes, then I go, wait, I tell you to quote, he said something. And I go, wait, I tell you to quote Plato, and instead of quoting Plato, you ask me if I ever read Plato. Bro, you can't even find Plato. Yeah, so at some point he asked me if I ever read Plato. Oh, here it is. I hate how this goes. Why can't it just be open from the beginning? I have to fucking pop these open all the time. It drives me crazy. Fucking hell, dude. Oh god, now I have to go all the way to the top because this thing is all zoomed. I hate how they do this. Drives me fucking crazy. Okay, so he's like, so finally he starts quoting, right? I'm like, you can't even find Plato. So he goes, this came from out of the Atlantic Ocean, for in those days the Atlantic was navigable. And there was, I haven't answered about that too. And there was an island situated in front of the straits, which you called the Pillars of Hercules, the island larger than Libya and Asia put together, and was way to the other islands, and from these you might pass the whole of the opposite continent, which surrounded by true ocean, the opposite continent, which is America. For this sea is within the territory, within the Straits of Hercules, is only a harbor having, yeah, they're talking about the Mediterranean Sea not being the true ocean. With the straits of surrounding by the most boundless continent. From Critias looking towards the sea, but in the center of the whole island there was a plain which was said to have been the fairest of all plains and very fertile. Near the plain again, and also in the center of the island, in the distance of about 50 stadia, there was a mountain not very high on any side. This last mountain is between the spiral of the eye of the image. No, it's not, dude. It's in the Bahamas. So then I go, oh no. From Cretia's central plain, the whole country was said by him to be very lofty and precipitous on the side of the sea. But on the country immediately about the surrounding the sea was level plain itself, surrounded by mountains which descended toward the sea. It was smooth and even, and an oblong shape extended in one direction. 3,000 stadia, but across the centered island was 2,000 stadia. This part of the island looked toward the south and was sheltered from the north. Yeah, that's exactly how big the island underwater is. You keep proving my point. From Critias, the southern plain of the ditch will now describe... Oh, he's just quoting the entire freaking... So anyway, so what I say is... oh my god, he keeps going. So anyway, what I say, that 10,000 stadia ditch is right where it's supposed to be, in the slightly underwater shelf in the Bahamas. The rectangular plain built over many generations like Zealand and the Netherlands is the light blue underwater island in the Bahamas. Thanks for proving my point. He said the wall of the city was 50 stadia from the outer moat, making the diameter of the city 18.5 kilometers, not including the diameter of the large outer moat, making the diameter of the wall of the city something like 21 kilometers, exact same size as the circle I showed you, that you can't see. He said the wall of the city was 80 stadia from the sea, which is 14.8 kilometers, which is the same distance to visible circles from the Bahamas is from the sea. You keep proving my point. What happened to Plato describing the eye at the bottom of this 2 mile deep ocean? I guess I'll go in measure and see, but the island under what I said is the same exact size. Yeah, he never addressed the depixelation of the area. It's clearly not depixelated when my screen capture, but now it is. So, and then he goes on about like, about the center of the like Milky Way. That's what he said that the rings of Atlantis were. So he's saying that Atlantis was he described Atlantis as being that island on the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, but now he's saying that the island of Atlantis that he described is actually in the center of the Milky Way. He's actually talking about the skies. So anyway, this is what I wrote. It goes on forever. Maybe I shouldn't read that. I'm getting tired. Anyway, but this dude wrote a book, so maybe he'll keep coming after me. There's actually plenty of what he wrote. I didn't see that until now. I hate how they do those, when they have to open them up all the time. It needs to be open from the beginning, like how my website is. But yeah, yeah, I'm going to have to redress all those other things that he said. The size of the island. He said the size of the island. That's the exact size of the island. Anyway, last night when I was laying in bed in the beginning with insomnia, I was like posting even more of those. I posted like 20 more on like 20 different pages. And I just asked the question, I go, can anybody else see the circle? Only one person said they couldn't see the circle. Nobody else would even answer me. And this guy won't. And nobody will answer me about the depixelation. So whatever. Anyways, that's enough talking. I'm going to upload this now. And then I'm going to just suit up as quickly as I can. And try to get ready and suited and all that. And take my time. That's why I'm started early. Yeah, and then head off and just ride. Go on a big old ride. That'll be fun. Haha. And if the bike freaking breaks down on me, hopefully it won't get a flat where I have to walk back. Maybe my mom could pick me up. But yeah, hopefully like the brakes won't go out on me or something on my very first bike ride, like what happened with the gravel bike. And I can have an actual bike ride and get tired, because then I'll be able to sleep tonight and I'll be back in business. And all the exercise will burn away the weed, and I'll be able to recover way faster. And I can work my muscles, you know. When I come back from the bike ride, I'm going to lift weights, maybe do my dumbbell exercise, I don't know. Anyways, and listen to a book. So yeah, finally getting started. All I had to do is just forget about the website so I could prioritize the writing. And, you know, not have money problems. So I just took a huge loan out, but... yeah, but pretty soon I'll have the time to start asking for money from foundations. And you just make the rounds. I'm going to record, so it's not a waste of time. I have a funding page on my website. I'm going to record every single thing that I say to everybody and everything that they say or don't say back to me. And that way I won't feel like I'm wasting my time. You know, it's more like the journey. We're documenting the journey itself. And if all I do from now on with my spare time is ask people for money who doesn't even want to talk to me, then that's just what I'll do. It'll be like one of my part-time hobbies, asking for money, you know. But I'll be enjoying asking for money, you know. And so, which will make it so that I'll just keep asking for money and keep asking. And then what I do is I make the rounds, asking for money from all the foundations. And then once I've hit all the foundations, I just start from the first foundation and then I ask them again. Yeah, and I just maybe ask a foundation of money, a new foundation for money every day, and just make the rounds. And I'll be like, okay, so this is the third time I ask you, and then I'll just address them in a different way, you know? It'll be like message to you part 5, message to you part 6. And yeah, and if I ever get like frustrated or angry, I can take my rage out on the people who don't want to give me my money, you know? Call them out, which would give me a sense of schadenfreude or something. I'm not like a vengeful, like angry person who likes to rub stuff in and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I want to be prepared and have a leg to stand on if I ever do turn into that person. Because I never know when I'm going to snap. And I'll be like, all right, I've had enough. I'm frustrated. I just want to yell at somebody, you know? And I'm normally not like that, but everybody has their limit, you know? And it would make it just make it all worth it for me, you know? It'd make even the website worth it for me. It'd make all of it worth it. If I can just, if I just try, you know? And trying is like putting up a fight. But just repeating myself, you know, over and over again, saying the same thing is no fun. So you just say it in a different way, you know. And that's actually something I'm really good at. I'm really good at explaining something in like a million different ways. So yeah, it'll be fun to just ask Bunny in a different way, you know, like a theme or something, you know. Give examples, because one thing that I would do if nobody ever wants to give me a penny on any of these, let me explain really quickly why I want money. But if nobody wants to give me money, what I can do is I can hopefully I can find out who does get money from these people, and then I'll just write back and I'll give them all the reasons why whoever you gave money to ain't nothing compared to me, and what the hell are you doing giving money to that person? Because they're like clearly not nearly as productive, as helpful to the world as I am. And so this is basically why I need money. And I'm going to include this on all of my vlogs now. Every single one of my vlogs, I just came up with the idea now, is me have a certain theme of Atlantis, reminding about Atlantis, talk about that, putting the date, the location, but also why I deserve money for my website. So my website's I'm the only person in the world who knows how to fix the world, fix the economy and the educational system. The problem with the world is there's too much overhead. We can reduce taxes if we just teach ourselves instead of going to school. I haven't calculated it yet, but schools are super expensive. Everybody can see all those buildings everywhere. All the commuting kids do back and forth from school with the buses and the janitors and all of the different people who work at the school, the nurses and the administrators and the teachers and the overhead with the Department of Education and all this kind of stuff. If you just use that same money to just straight up give money to kids and families, then the teachers, parents can be the teachers of their own kids. But so you basically turn education into a competition, just like sports. You know, when you have people do sports, they all do the very best they can, and then they do great. When nobody gives a shit, then nobody even lifts a finger. So and so you make it a competition by putting the value on actual learning. You would even start by giving money to people who do it. That's why I need to be the first person to get the money. Because I'm not just talking about myself, I'm talking about people who participate. If anybody else participates, they should be asking for money too. Because you're showing that you're throwing your hat in the ring, you're participating in the competition and inspiring other people to do it. And so, we can replace the society class structure. We keep the society class structure, okay? There's always going to be a society class structure. Don't get rid of that. If you get rid of that, that's just another way of saying you want to keep it just without any meritocracy. So, because people now, super rich people, want to control the world and have all the money because they're better than you, they're smarter than you, like that kid said, because they have the money. Like, how smart you are is directly related to how much money you are. How much money you are, is related to how powerful you should be and all that kind of stuff. So, but the problem is that doesn't work because they just make more and more money and they just buy more and more stuff, and like Floyd Mayweather, they show his house and he's got all these lines of sports cars. And you see that over and over again. People get these sicknesses. They get a freaking Bugatti, and then they need another Bugatti, and then they need a Ferrari, and then they need a big ass house to hold it all. And like every time you fix one of those things, it's like what, $5,000 for like a chip or something. It's just a way to bleed money away. On one of those Bugattis that Floyd Mayweather built, he could have funded me for a lifetime. And so every time they go back to there, and then they they judge each other that way, and then they get to feel like they that's like the sign of success. So you just replace that with knowledge, and then you have an actual system. So I've got and then you could even wear it like a badge on your body. So like a T-shirt. So I have a idea that you just how good you do on your history test, what your score is, or how many history sections of the world you have passed at 100%, and that's just what your level is. That's how smart you are. How many book reviews you've done, and you just stick to that, and that's you being better than everybody else. It's kind of like sports. Everybody knows who won the foot race. And so you can make it the same thing intellectually. Everybody knows who won the intellectual race because it's right there on their website. They've got 5 different videos of 5 different countries that they passed. They did 10 different book reviews. It's like, there you go. There's their level. 5 country passes, 10 book review. What more? Like, that's it. That's their level in society. And if they want to run for president, then that's what they have to go off of, and then nobody cares about how much money you have. And if you don't care how much money you have, then you don't value money, and now you just value your knowledge, like finally people are starting to value physical fitness. And so, that's a start, and they're doing that because they can prove their physical fitness online in a way that's non-judgmental. Now, of course, they can all cheat with the steroids, but then you're shortening your life, and I don't even know if it makes you that much stronger. People with all the steroids, I'd love to see how strong they are, And so then that could bleed over into lifting weights and showing how strong you are online and all that kind of stuff. So that's the new economy. The new economy and educational system. Because the new economy, because you're spending so much less on education, you're saving tax money, and then the people who control the policy get chosen from there, and that's the economy. So that's how you fix the world. But if I can't participate myself, because I just have to work because I don't have time to build any more of these countries, then there's nothing I can do. The ball is in the court of the people with the money. The power's in their hands. I can't write a check to myself from their bank account. They have to do that. And it's super easy. It's just write your name, write a couple of things, and then give it to me. It's way easier than me making the actual website. So I'll just describe that over and over again. Email people, but yeah, that's why I'm kind of motivated, super motivated to pass that test. I have to. Maybe I'll put the link to it. I think I'll put the link to it on all of my videos here. But yeah, kind of forgot what I was talking about. So anyways, that's my vlog for the day. Talk to you tomorrow.